what if it was your daddy? What if it was your daddy? It would have brought about that same type. Just hearing your daddy say that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying,
it would have
since
been
your
better
daddy
coming from my daddy, but it came from mama.
Maybe your mama knew you had to hear that though.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. Just like
I'm gonna take you in the backyard and show you how to hit.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
About? So, but my mama has always been that.
Oh, this. Look,
always been able to say the things that a man should have said if a man would have been in that position.
I'm gonna give you a prime example. Look, we all can agree. Like when a little girl first get her period, don't no man want to go in there and let her know that's more of a woman thing. But let's just say that little girl mother was deceased or not around.
But I was finna say some men have to play that role.
I'm just saying everything is for the betterment of the child. Once you decide to have a child, everything it ain't about you no more.
It ain't about your.
I respect when I had my baby, since I had him, like watching him. It's just like being back at work. Like it's a full-time job. Like it's a full-time tiring job to constantly.
And the shit is tiring.
So I respect a woman that got 3-4 of these babies. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like I respect the black woman, but it's a better way to handle yourself. All I'm saying, it's a better way to handle yourself.
Different situations can be solved.
And it's a stronger.
Respond
it's a stronger way to handle it. Like Michelle Obama. She ain't gonna get on TV talking. Ghetto, going off on Barack. Anytime she talk, it's gonna be with respect and clarity because she putting thought into what she's saying. Yeah. You gotta wait and figure out what you're saying. Don't just say shit.
Yeah, what you just said take me back to my English teacher when I was going to Houston Community College. Yeah. She gave us a sheet of paper that was titled "The Verbal Advantage." And underneath, it explains what the verbal advantage is. It says the verbal advantage means this here, whether it is fair or not. Every day people judge you by the words you use. In business and socially, your education, your background, and your intelligence tell everybody about your education. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? You know, it's the words that you use on a daily basis is going to determine how people
it's just like
act towards you, respond to you.
Basically, you know like America ran off credit. Like we all got a credit score. Yeah. But credit, you can fit in any situation. Like if I say, "Cuz, hey, watch the court for me, I got you," but I keep saying, "I'm gonna get you next time." Cuz just watch that. Like my credit started not to be good with you. Then the first time I already saw the court, gave you your money. Next time I see the court, you watch it, give your money. I'm just saying, like my credit's still good. But when I keep telling you one thing and doing something else, see what I'm saying? Then my credit bad.
That make your credit and your word not worth as much as it should worth.
Exactly, and that's what the world. That's what the world period ran on is credit. Yeah. What your credit is with the next person, or what your credit is with your job, or with your car loan or your student loan.
Well, you know that's just like the phrase street cred. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
You can say that too.
You know, I got a lot of street cred. Yeah. Okay, when you got a lot of street cred, a person in the street's gonna do almost anything for you. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? They gonna put you down. They gonna front you this. They gonna do this here. Because your street cred is high. But you ain't got no street cred, nigga. I'm like, man, I ain't finna put no work in your hand. Nigga, I ain't finna front you this here. I ain't finna. You ain't got no street cred. It ain't you know.
Looking ass.
What y'all cooking?
Our credit is just a paper saying what you did in this past amount of time and how you went about doing it.
No, it's like it's a paper saying, "Can we trust you with this amount?"
But it's the same thing because they looking at your history.
Paid these people.
They looking at your history of everything, like what you ain't paid off, everything. But they might see your credit, like it just basically tell them what you've been doing and how you've been doing it, like. So,
I ain't never bought nothing.
But I ain't saying credit. I'm just saying like trying to use it for as like I say with people, man. Your credit got to be good. You can't go on TV just talking on any kind of way.
$8,000 worth of coins. That's crazy.
But like I said, man.
I'm gonna say this here, man. If there's a child involved, you know, you got to do what's right, not for you, but what's right for the child. Yeah. You know, I mean, I didn't beat my son coming up. I whooped him, but I didn't beat him. But I told him, I'm trying to get you to the point where I can just talk to you.
Hey, look,
you know what I'm talking about?
What I just said yesterday.
Just talk to you.
What I just said.
Like my kids.
So this is what I started doing.
They don't like whoopings. Like you can yell at my kids and them niggas gonna cry.
I would do this to Lil Mickey. When he would mess up, I said, boy, go get me a pencil and paper. And on that piece of paper, I'm finna write out on the front.
You still disciplining him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm finna write out some math problems. Man. And I'm gonna make you do the math problems until you get it right. Now, if you act like you don't want to do this, but then I'm gonna tear your ass up. You know, but I was disciplining him by giving him schoolwork to do. That made him better in school at the same time. So that was my discipline. You know, I got to the point where I don't want to have to beat on you. I want to talk to you.
Look, I just said it yesterday with my stepdaughter. I said I never once whooped her, never once put my head, never raised my voice because what I do, I talk to her just like I'm talking to you, Mick. If I say, but I know you more of a man. I'm talking her from a child's point of view, as a man knowing what's going on. But I just tell her like, what happened with today? You had a fight. What happened today? And she telling me, I'm not telling her like what she did wrong. I'm trying to tell her what because it's over now. I gotta tell her what she can do right next time to avoid. Mostly what I tell my kids is to avoid situations. You could have avoided that fight. You could have avoided. Chip could have avoided all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause like you gotta know how to avoid shit. Like it's fights we done had, we could have avoided. Nigga, I got cuts and shit right now. Like I said, I could have avoided that. I didn't have to go in that fight. But until I got older, I ain't had nobody to tell me when I went to college, you need to avoid this, avoid that. But now I can tell my kids, when y'all go to college, you need to avoid this, avoid. You see what I'm saying? Like with kids, you can't really discipline them, and then you discipline them. It might be like stay in your room. Stay in your room for 10 days. Stay in your room for the weekend. No phone, no nothing. Don't come out. That's just you rather got a whooping than do that. You see what I'm saying? So it's a form. You see what I'm saying, Corley?
But see, all they go back to is the way that you respond to stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can respond to shit differently.
Exactly. It's Bailey.
No, let's finish.
I was just gonna say.
I was gonna turn the corner on it a little bit and go into something else if y'all don't mind.
Go ahead, Go ahead.
I would say this here about being a parent. Okay, you have to protect your kids to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
You know, and to everybody that got little kids, I would ask my son 4 questions every time he came to see me. I just get him every weekend. You know, but before he go outside to play, he come in, he want to throw his bags, I don't want to go out. I said, "No, son, sit down and let's talk." You know, I asked him, "Is there anything you want to tell Daddy?" First, I'm giving him the flow to talk, so he can get comfortable with talking to me about anything. And I tell him, whatever it is, even if you did something wrong, you can talk to me about it. So once I got him like that, then I would ask him 4 questions before I let him go. I would ask him, did anybody do anything to you that they not supposed to do? Did anybody touch you in places they're not supposed to touch you? Did anybody try to get you to touch them in places you know you're not supposed to touch them? And the last thing I would ask him, did anybody do anything you would say you better not tell nobody? You know what I'm saying? I asked my son 4 questions. Every time he see me.
Corley Black. This the main thing going on right now in America. You gotta
know what's going on and who around your kids. Let
me put a twist on it, cuz. This the main thing going on around in America. And my daughter be on it, and I gotta watch her, is that kick shit. Them little kids be on there with them grown motherfuckers on there, and they can get it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, mainly why I say that, because the kids was on TD Jakes, and the chick, she had been a friend and stuff for the little girl. She thought she was her friend. She was like, come to the airport. I'm going to pick you up. They took the little girl way, you know what I'm saying? No, and she was like about 15, I say. They took her way like to a far state, way away from everybody. And she said the trick she had, she was a sex slave. But I don't kick. That's why I be telling my daughter, baby, I be like, you need to watch who come in you. If somebody doing something sexually or you see something sexually, you need to know how to avoid it. Because them little kids, that's how they fall into them trap. Like they show with the people set up the little kids and they come and the nigga
Chris Hansen now.
You know what I'm talking about when they show up at the house and they be like, damn, you trying to fuck this 10-year-old boy.
That's Chris Hansen. What's
Crime Watch.
Crime Watch, yeah, that's it. Crime Watch.
Exactly.
Crime Watch Daily.
Exactly. That's
that nigga come out from the bad habit sleep right there.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I'm just saying.
Now Chris Hansen, like on Boondocks, they talking about now Chris Hansen, we came for man's ass. Yeah. See, we knew that you was coming here today. They got on their ass.
But certain shit, it is the ITAs, kids smart, but most shit need to be filtered towards kids. Like I said with the game with my son, I'm not buying you no game because what it's gonna teach you.
But even though it must be filtered, it must be monitored by whatever grown up that's around that kid.
Yeah.
You have to know what your child is up to, man. You just cannot just ignore them and avoid them.
It's all how they raised. Like we was raised the right way. Like I said, like your parents, they gonna bring you on slowly with things. Like you might come home like, Mama, what's 6? They be like, boy, you too young to know about that. But now you know he know about that. So he get a little older. Now you mama like, I know you having sex now. Now it's this one. I know you having sex. What you need to do is watch for these diseases, plenty of disease. You need to have you some rope. You gonna give. You see what I'm saying? You gotta bring them along because at first you too young. Now as I know you having sex.
I was forced to explain that to Lil Vicky at an age earlier than I expected.
I already know.
Okay, and this is what happened. I had to go to
and
work.
It happened like that a lot.
I let my uncle babysit him while I'm at work. Vicky about 6 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get home from work. A friend of mine, male friend, came over to see me. He said, man, you talk to your son, man, because it's something he really needs to tell you. Yeah. I was like, what is it, man? Go talk to your son. Yeah. So I go sit Lil Mickey down. He uncomfortable talking to me at first. Yeah. But then what it boiled down to, he said, Daddy, I went in the den to go talk to Uncle Eric, and
he was having sex.
No, and he had his head between Aunt Janet's legs, and she was making some funny sounds. Yeah. What was he doing?
See,
okay, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? He only about 6 years old. So I said, hold on. I called all my homeboys that got boys. Say, man, how old was your son when you started talking to him about sex? How old? How did you break it into him? This and that. Yeah. See, because this was uncharted territory for me. You know what I'm saying? So what I ended up doing was telling him the clean version of everything. Yeah. But then at the end, I told him that this is something for grown-ups to do. Because if you don't do it right,
you're separating the child from the grown-up.
So I gave him a clean version. Then I said, this is something grown-ups do. Because if you don't do it right, you can get a disease and die.
Yeah. And when you get older,
that's what I told him.
Still more than you. I'm gonna tell you even deeper version. Some shit I've been through.
But I was forced to start at an age that was.
But with sex and shit like that, it's like a lot of shit happen early. Yeah. You gotta like.
But I didn't have nobody to sit down and talk to me. Period.
But that's what I'm trying to say.
From reading dirty magazines and shit like this here.
That's the difference between a man. Like I say, as a man and a woman, you gotta be a teacher. You gotta be a teacher. You gotta be that teacher.
Well, the parent is the child's first teacher, man, but not their only teacher. Yeah. You know, you're your child's first teacher. You know.
It's just like the church, like they be saying, like people depending on the church or the preacher to tell them how to run their family and stuff, which is fine for the word and you know, asking for blessings. But as a man, like I said, you already know. You see what I'm saying?
You know what to do. You know what to do. It's like Butch. Butch used to tell us this here. He's like, I'm trying to tell you everything that I can tell you. That way you can't say you didn't know and didn't nobody tell you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If I tell you everything I could possibly tell you, you know, about every situation, if I try to tell you as much as I can, then you can't say, man, I didn't know or didn't nobody tell me. That means you have no excuse for making that particular mistake.
Look, that's just like I tell my nephew.
You know, so that's how I raised my son, because that's how I was raised. I try to tell him
telling me to write a whole bunch of stuff, but like I tell my nephews and my niece all the time, like, if y'all need something, call me. Yeah. So you hearing it out of my mouth, plain and simple. Basically what I'm saying, if you need something, call me. So if you're not calling me, then in my mind, you're not needing something. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all about how you go about expressing to letting them know like you need something.
Yeah.
Or you can't say that I didn't tell you to call me if you needed something.
And one thing that's gonna stop that kid from calling you is if they scared of the results. Or what you might say or what you might do. But I didn't want my son to be scared to come talk to me, because if he's scared to come talk to me, he's going to believe whatever he hear out there in the streets.
So look,
that sound like my mama.
You know what I'm saying?
But look, you kept pushing him to let him know it was okay to come talk to you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like you gotta let them know too that it's okay. Like basically raising your child, you might tell them something, but you can't let that be it. You gotta keep pushing them. Like, son, you already know if there's anything going on, you can talk to me.